Breaking news! It seems the internet is upset. So Velan Studios announced that it worked with Nintendo to develop the new Star Fox game, and the internet kind of went ablaze here with all their comments of doom and gloom, as it usually does. But I'm here to shed some light on the situation and explain why this studio seems like a great fit for Star Fox. Firstly, a lot of people were complaining that Star Fox being handed to a third-party studio seems like a bad idea. Well, newsflash, Star Fox has been handed to a third-party studio almost entirely throughout the entire franchise. From Q Games to Namco, Rareware, and Ubisoft. Star Fox being passed around to different studios is just almost tradition at this point, and some of those games are my favorite, like Star Fox Assault. But why Velan Studios? Well, Velan Studios has worked with Nintendo before on Mario Kart Live. Remember that little experimental toy dash game? I enjoyed it quite a lot. I thought it was a very fun and clever toy. And they probably worked with Nintendo again to get the port of Knockout City on Nintendo Switch, and that's a pretty solid port. And let's get to some of the history behind Velan Studios. It was formed from former Vicarious Vision employees and talent. And if you know Vicarious Vision, they have done some of the best port jobs to Nintendo all the way dating back to the Game Boy Advance. Remember Tony Hawk on the GBA? Yeah, that was pretty awesome, wasn't it? Now, another big thing is people are saying they made a bunch of dead games. And this is where I want to deep dive into the concept of a dead game does a terrible job at judging the quality of a game. Because in this day and age, so many online titles are trying to get your attention for a consistent play that having one get popular is about luck or how big the corporation's wallet is. So I think it's a terrible way to judge the quality of a game based off of a few online titles that they had that didn't quite live long as maybe some had hoped. Instead of judging by those games on their community size, how about we judge on how the community felt when the game released? Knockout City was pretty hyped up and I played it. It was a lot of fun. I think it was very clever, and I think Nintendo took note on how well they did this online creative game that was different. I mean, Star Fox does have a new online mode in this one, so maybe that was one of the reasons why they chose them. And another point, I've tried the game myself, and you can see the quality and craftsmanship into this game. There was a lot of love in the demo I tried. One thing in particular that I noticed is how well they implemented the story to feel impactful to every choice you make, to even purposely wanting to fail a mission just to see what happens in the story when things go wrong. And I think that's made a lot of people excited for the potential of this remake, just for everything feels so fleshed out, and just small things like getting narrative and character development during things like the tutorial of all places really just makes you want to just sit and watch this closely as you play to really study all the small minute details they added. This feels like a Star Fox team rather than Star Fox with his team. And what I mean by that is that in the original game, you were kind of just there with your crew and they just kind of let things happen along with you. But in this game, they feel side by side with you, doing everything with you, just from the change of writing and pacing and new little touches alone. And I'm also going to be honest that this has been one of the most cinematic games that I've seen from Nintendo almost ever. The camera angles, the lighting, the direction, the writing, all of this feels something that's next level. Well, not next level games, but you know what I mean. It's truly living up to the space opera feel that makes you feel like everything has more to it. And all the previews seem to be getting pretty high praise. You know, Next Level Game didn't quite have bangers released back in the day before Nintendo started working with them. So let's not just give up on something new just because it's scary and different. I know, again, that sounds crazy to try to tell the internet that, because that's like trying to tell a dog not to bark. But I have my faith in this company. These people seem like they genuinely care about creating fun and new experiences for people. And I think that's exactly why Nintendo chose them for this. But what do you think? Leave a comment down below. And to get more on all things gaming, subscribe to GameXplain. See ya!